The term fine art gets thrown around a lot in the portrait photography industry, especially when it's based around boudoir photography. But what do people actually mean? What are they talking about when they're referring to the work as fine art? Are they talking about the lighting? Are they talking about the posing? Does the person have to be nude for it to be considered fine art? Let me kind of break this down as to what people are talking about, and at the end of the video, I've actually got a bit of a hot take. If you ask 100 different photographers what makes something fine art, you're going to get 100 different answers. So this is clearly my take. You are welcome to disagree with me. You are welcome to leave things in the comments and we can have a discourse about it. But I think that for something to be considered fine art, artistic, whatever, it all starts with intention. Everything in a particular image has to exist there for a reason. So that's going to be, what lighting did we choose to light this portrait? Are we going heavy shadow? Are we filling shadows in? What's the mood that we're trying to get through in the image? And how are we going to achieve that with expression? Is the person sitting in the portrait making direct eye contact with us, the viewer? Are they looking off? Are the eyes closed? What's in the set and why? Is there anything in the set, or is it just your subject? And there's a million other things to consider when you're thinking about it, but intention is where everything starts. Nothing is in the image, is in the frame just because. Speaking of light, light's not just there to illuminate the entire frame. The light that we select is there to guide the viewer's eye around the photo. Where do we want people to look? How do we want the eye to travel around the image? And light is going to play a big part of that. At the end of the day, the eye is always going to be drawn to the brightest part of the image, but you may not want it to stay there. So for me, a lot of the times, the face is always going to be the brightest part of the image, and then I want the eye to move around the form and then come back to the face. The light is also there to sculpt. It is there to add depth and dimension. So the highlights help guide the eye. The shadows help contour whoever or whatever it is that we are photographing. And then of course, how light or dark we go with shadows can help dictate the mood. Many times, not all, the deeper the shadows, the more moody a portrait can feel. But at the end of the day, I tend to think about the light as being fluid, like water. It's going to guide us around the image. And the next thing to consider is the actual composition of our portraits. And it starts with the human body is a really cool and interesting machine that can make a lot of cool shapes and do a lot of very interesting things. So when we're creating fine art boudoir portraits, what we're trying to do is create interesting shapes. We're trying to draw the eye with form, with line and angles. And while other forms of boudoir photography may aim to be more provocative with their poses, as a fine art boudoir photographer, we're aiming more towards creating something that's statuesque, something that is about the form more than the sensuality. And then we have to focus on expression. How do we want the person that we're photographing to connect with the viewer when this art is finished? Do we want the viewer to wonder what the person in the portrait was thinking and feeling at the time? Do we want there to be a direct connection with the person? Personally, I tend to lean more towards softer looks, sometimes a little mischievous. I like to see, when I'm talking with people, where their mind goes, because everything kind of comes across the eyes when people think and feel a certain way. And being able to look at an emotion and have it make me wonder, what's going on behind the eyes there? I feel creates much more interest in the piece of art. And then it's a matter of putting all of it together. Everything has to feel cohesive and like it belongs together. If the expression doesn't match the moody light, then that's going to make the viewer feel off. It's going to make them uncomfortable. If the styling of what someone's wearing doesn't match the expression and the vibe. It creates discord. It's not right. You don't feel right about it. So everything has to be of the piece. Everything has to feel like it should have been there. And in my world, the piece needs to feel like it's timeless. It needs to feel like it could be in someone's home, it could be on the wall of a museum 200 years from now, and it's still gonna hold up. It's not going to look like the glamour shots that we all know and remember from back in the day with pop collars and feather boas. It needs to feel like it can have a life well after we're gone. I promised a bit of a hot take, and that is I actually despise the term fine art when it comes to portraits or boudoir portraits. They're just portraits. They're just boudoir portraits. We are artists, and what we create is art. We don't need to add words to it to try to make it sound more important or to try to elevate it in some way. Our only job is to create beautiful works of art and put it out into the world and let people enjoy it.